My kid's daycare had to have a medical emergency. Very selfish of them, which meant that my child has been home from daycare for 4 days this week. They only went on Monday and then a half day on Tuesday. So as a result, we now are, we didn't get a chance to record too much Super Auto Pets this week, but that's life. That's just how she goes. What do you pay your daycare for? They're very inconsistent. Yeah, but they got you like bent over a barrel, pretty much. You know, the thing that you love most in the world is in their care 8 to 9 hours a day. What are you going to do? Antagonize your daycare provider? Yes? I know you don't have kids. You can't do this. You can't be like, I'm never having kids. And then when I ask a hypothetical question about having kids, you're like, here's what I would do. You wouldn't do anything. No. You've made that clear to me on many occasions. What are they going to do? Hit your kid? I'm not suggesting they would hit your child. Like it's just a medical situation. It wasn't like, they just decided to go to Cancun for a week or something like that. But all I'm saying is, if you start to antagonize a daycare, when it comes time for snack time and, there's only 6 apples to go around and somebody's got to eat a Bartlett pear, maybe all of a sudden your kid finds himself eating the Bartlett pear instead. Pears are better? I've been a pear defendor for so long. Ever since we had our kid, I've been eating like way more fruits. I'm willing to admit that I was simply wrong. Pears are just not that good. And I really went to bat for them for 2 decades. My parents used to throw them in my lunch. I would take them to school. Some pears are the perfect softness. They're one quanta of solace away from mushy. You eat a pear and you're like, it will be mushy in 6 hours. That's the perfect time to have a pear. Sometimes you get a pear, you bite into it, and it like makes your soft palate bleed. Like you bite into it and it like perfectly forms like a mold of your upper teeth that you could give to the dentist to like build a retainer for you. Sometimes it's like biting into a piece of bark. The pear is too inconsistent. I like the flavor of a pear. I'm not willing to deal with the inconsistency of the pear. If I'm gonna eat a pear, I'd rather just eat an apple. And I'm not even that apple pilled or pineapple apple pilled. But an apple's flavor might be a little bit worse, but apples are so much more consistent. And moreover, you know when an apple's gonna suck ass because you grab it and you squeeze it and you're like, this shit is like mashed potatoes on the inside. It's gonna be horrible. That's just the way it goes. You grab a pear, you don't know until you take the first bite. I've been eating a lot of berries because my kid eats a lot of berries. Berries are definitely great, man. Not a food for the faint of heart as a result of their prodigious price tag. Pure sugar, brother, is fruit. You know what you sound like whenever you say like strawberries have too much sugar? You see that subreddit that's called like, I didn't have eggs, and it's all people leaving 1-star reviews of recipes where they didn't actually cook the recipe. They made a substitution in the recipe and then it sucked. And then they gave the review as if they made it verbatim. Like the one that went viral was like for carrot cake. And then it said, yuck, carrots have too much sugar. I used a cup of shredded kale instead. But my cake came out like not sweet and gummy. And you're like, yeah, that's why you use carrots, man. You see, or the one that was like, it was a recipe for mulled wine. And they were like, this wine was too sour. Yuck, it tasted like vinegar. And then the reply from the original author was like, just so you know, you're supposed to use apple cider as it says in the recipe, not apple cider vinegar. They use like 2 cups of vinegar plus a bottle of wine. Like, it's just, what are you doing? Or the one that, it was like, you're supposed to use a teaspoon of chili paste. And then the lady gave it a 1-star review and said it was too spicy. Her husband was crying when he was eating it. It turns out she used 2.5 cups. A teaspoon is 15 milliliters. 2.5 cups is 625 milliliters. It's like 50 times the dose. My God, she was trying to kill him. It's and these people vote. That's the scary thing or something. I don't know. Or the one that gave it a 1-star review for a recipe and said, just so you know, this recipe isn't very friendly to people who have like, they have to have low oxalate diets. And then the author was like, this isn't a low oxalate recipe. It's just, people are they're losing their damn minds out there, man.